Moon's irrational. It's about your sense of security. So if you're secure about what you get, like with the stress with the Venus, it implies you're not really secure about what you want or don't want. And the feelings get extenuated, get built up bigger than they should disproportionately about likes and dislikes. Once that's there, it's going to affect one's personality or persona. Like in a group, it's going to stand out because they're going to draw attention to themselves more than to other people. Or they'll clash when anyone else is doing anything similar to them. They get preoccupied with their own wants and desires. And I mean, when you start to see different adult situations, if someone breaks up, you've been together, we were together, you were mine. If I can't have you, nobody could have you. I'll get even with you. You can't break up with me like that. And like, wow. I mean, more people get killed because of Venus than of any other planet. Envy, jealousy, you can't do that to me. You can't take that away from me, whatever. But then again, that's the addiction planet too. So you put the addiction planet of wanting too much and not getting it, and what else you're going to take, tie it in with your habits. Wow. Then it's very different according to the, I mean, really, you'll see the moon's being fixated. It picks up a fixed habit. It's being immutable. It's going to be showing in many different places. And we'll allow the fixated to come. If it's driving, it's going to put, but it's still going to be the moon affected by this Mercury. So we're going to look at Mercury coming from Mercury, but it becomes important to eat right, to live right, or too much or too little is going to affect the way you think. Too much or less is going to affect what you choose, what you want. This is why anyone in a war zone or a violent home or in a poverty ghetto, it's almost impossible to go to school and learn if you haven't had a good night's sleep and you don't have a full stomach. Wow, if only everybody could have that steady meal. But life's a battle for this. So on any level of anything to do with the moon, that Mercury is going to be tied in. The Venus is going to be. I'm choosing this. I got to have this. Oh, this is wonderful. They got more than me. I need more. It's going to be an effort to keep the kid. If you have a kid with that, it's going to be an effort to make sure they don't get overweight. It's going to be easier to spoil them, but boy, it's going to be trouble if you do, because it's only going to get magnified as they get older. Mom, Dad, I need to have a car. Not just a cheap car, I need to have a nice car. You gotta wait till you're 16. What? But, or allowances, or how much money do I get, or how do I work, or why should I work? Like so many, it's a personal attitude, a behavioral thing with the Mercury and the Moon and the Venus. You don't see it clearly. You notice it's there. You would see it if you had to live with a person or sleep with a person or share a kitchen or share a car and you're doing things like, then you would run into the other person's habit patterns and behavior. But until then, you might work with someone and never run across that. You'd probably sense it if they put on the extra weight or whatever. I mean, nowadays, everybody on TV, on computers, who's skinny. Like at what level does normal health almost begins to look anorexic compared to the way most people are living. So there's a cosmic standard. And if you overindulge or you do these things, it affects your health. If your health's affected, you can't think right, you can't evaluate right, you're certainly not going to have the same confidence. Or your mom could be telling you everything to do. Sometimes these patterns go through a family tree. And you can see, mom had it, oh, my sister has it, oh, my uncle had it, grandpa has it. You can see these patterns of behavioral problems going through. These are not major, they're not seeming the big extreme aspects, but they have a very significant effect on how you live your life. Okay. How are we doing for time? Yeah, okay. So these three, they run into each other. So it's hard to see it distinct, but it's easy to sense the puzzle of the stress that's there, as opposed to when there's no stress there, when it's not an issue. You know, someone could pig out one night, and the next 2 nights they don't even care if they don't eat much. You know, or now these same qualities that are overindulgent qualities can be very artistic or creative qualities that people tap into more than other people. The indulgence of the artist or the visionary. They still expect to get special attention for it. They're still going into these. And how much comes out of it? How clear is it? You got to remember there's always aspects between the planets. There's always a relationship between each planet. So there's always, this puzzle is there at all times. It's just, if you have the aspect, it's a little more personal, it's more dramatically there. And you still have to work through it, same as anybody else. Everyone still has to deal with these same issues. But when this aspect is a stress factor, you can, I like to think when you have a kid, how do you deal with it? Well, you can try not to set up those habits. But trying not to set up the habits might mean having to change some of your own, which you may not be ready to because you may have the same factor. So this is the inner ones, Moon, Mercury, Venus, as they affect the moon. Your memory, what you remember. I remember we were having a great time, and then someone took that from me. You stole that from me, you got it from me, and it's hard to forgive. What happened? That I can't forgive that. I lost things there. They were like, it's personally wound up about something that's still a Moon Venus or Moon Mercury. Usually the extremes of anger and things get triggered by other planets coming in on top of this. This is just a behavioral quality of maybe they could be obnoxious or like the talking too much or eating too much, or it's a simple thing. It's up to you. But boy, once you put on the weight, you can be worried about taking it off all the time and never quite getting around to change. It comes down to changing the habits and changing the values. And as you change the values, it'll be stressful to live up to it. As you change the habits, it'll be stressful to want it or to like it. Not going to be easy. I know some people that can eat a leaf of lettuce and one leaf of lettuce and put on a pound. What's fair? Now, I know other people. I go both ways. I got my Moon in Cancer. I indulge, I binge for a period of time until I'm way overweight, and then finally I can work at it and deal with it and just cut it off and not eat for a long time, and then not eat for a long time. But I like to eat, so it's an effort to not do it. It's hard. It's really requires a lot of effort for me. So when you're looking at a chart, you know, when you're looking at these charts, you see this are like spiral, the layers of consciousness chart, the one with the signs on the top and the houses on the bottom. This is Carl Jung's chart. And we see the gray circle for the moon. There's the moon in his chart. When we look at the top, we see the chart. There's the moon and Pluto conjunct, and it's square, it's sextiles to Mercury and Venus, it's square Uranus, it's square Saturn, and these are his chart. But there's so many all the other aspects are in the chart too. All these patterns going on. When we look below, we just take a chart and we only draw one planet's aspects. Here you see the moon, you see the conjunction to Pluto, little aspect, you see the square to Saturn, the square to Uranus, and the sextiles to Mercury and Venus. So you got three stressful aspects and 2 easy aspects to work with. That's all and the other ones aren't that predominant for you. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to get into interpreting this chart. I just brought this up as an example to show we see it on the chart. We're just looking at one planet, we see the aspects to it. And the ones that aren't exactly, there's still aspects, relationships to all the other planets. They're just not as critical as the ones that are making these stressful aspects, or the exact major aspects. You know, Carl Jung, he has nice aspects between Mercury and Venus, both sextiling the moon. He had no trouble writing about the past, his memories, his dreams, his reflections. Easy to write about it. But he didn't have an easy time living. It's Saturn, he had Uranus disruptions, and Pluto there. He had a lot of struggles around his path, but he didn't have trouble talking about it. He was able to use it to help other people deal with their difficult pasts and memories and dreams and reflections. What a perfect title for a moon book: Memories, Dreams, and Reflections. All the past. So technically, spiritually, it's all the things that aren't real. But in the psychology, you have the dreams because it's real, because it has affected us, and they get into behavioral patterns and go into it like that. It's not a yoga. It's not. It's healthy to perhaps recognize and go into those things, but really the healing things to be in the moment and learn how to not diminish yourself in the moment by your habits or by your thoughts or by your emotions. You know, if you know someone's coming over to visit you, they want to come and talk to you, but they bring they bring a case of beer and they're munching on a bag of chips. They got a whole big bag of chips and they're going to sit down. They're not going to want to talk. They're going to want to put on the ball game. You know, so they already know it's only going to go so far. Okay. I don't think I can point out much better. So now when we get to the sun, our confidence, the sun represents our future, where we're going to. And as that confidence where I'm going to depends on where we're coming from. How well I've eaten, how well I've lived is going to determine my confidence and how well I'm able to go towards the future. I'm going to be someone, I'm important, I'm going places. But our bad habits, our sloth or other things can interfere. Oh, one day I'll do that, but I can't do this now. Oh, not that's too much now. I don't have the money now. I can't take that course. I can't do it. We start blocking, the moods can start blocking the goals. Or the confidence can be demanding things that one isn't ready to live up to. So if you have the sun and moon in a difficult aspect, conjunction, square, opposition, traditionally in older astrology, this meant poor eyesight. In the physical terms, the sun would be, the sun of a man rules the right eye, and the left eye of a man is the moon. But the sun of a woman rules the left eye, and the moon rules the right eye. So when we look at each other, it's sun to sun and moon to moon. But when there's a stress between our sun and moon, it affects our vision. Now with TV and computers, everybody's got poor vision. Everybody's going to be wearing glasses. It's almost a non-factor. But it does mean there's struggles between the past and the future. Whenever I'm trying to go forward with something, I wouldn't speak to a family member about it. Oh, what do you want to do that for? You think that's really good or you shouldn't do it? I'd be encouraged to do something more secure. And this has been a fight all my life. So between the moon, the past and your future are fighting each other. I want to sit comfortably here. I want to get there, but I don't want to change here. I have to get there. It's going to cost this. So people with the moon-sun aspect, the conjunction square opposition, there's a stress factor between their past and their future, between their memories and the past that they're bringing with them, and the goals they're trying to aspire to. You're trying to be the goal, but you want to be. Let's see. Yeah, well, I can see I want to be a cook and a chef. I want to be a vegetarian cook or chef. I want to do this, but I can't give up the meat, or I can't give up this, or I can't give up that, and make compromises around it. So how you live with the moon and the sun square, opposed, or conjunct, the feelings, you're going to feel very important about what you want to do. At the same time, what you want to do is going to be very proud and creative, and it's going to be challenging how much you can live up to. So you don't rest too much with that. You're always trying to struggle to get out of where you're coming from, go on to the future. At the same time, you're trying to be in the moment with some sense of importance, and yet you're bringing up petty little things from your past memories that don't seem so petty to you. So the sun and moon is best covered in the phases. When you're doing the phases of the moon, it's showing the 8 phases, how it's moving from this phase to that phase of development. But it is, when you're looking just at the aspects, the stress between the sun and moon means there's a struggle between the past and future, between what you want to do and what your family wants to do, or your mom wants you to do, or between just how you're living and what you want, the effort you have to make to get out of there. Whew.